Hello, welcome to another edition of AFRINITY Connect with me, Wilfred Adams. I've got somebody very special on the program. And we've got the gubernatorial candidate for Bayelsa State, Mr. Udengs. Welcome to this special edition of AFRINITY Connect with me. It's good to have you, sir.
Thank you very much. And let me say, I appreciate all the listeners.
Yes, it's an honor, a privilege to have you. For those that are just watching, they want to know who is Mr. Odense and where is, tell us about Bayelsa, tell us about Labour Party. People want to know. Tell us what's going on, sir.
Well, first of all, I am Udengs Eradiri. I was born in Port Harcourt. I'm from Yenegua local government, Agudama Ekpetiama to be precise, in Bayelsa State. Um, I attended my nursery primary school in Calabar, Chasuka International. Went to Stella Maris College in Port Harcourt, and then later to Agudama Comprehensive High School, where I finished my secondary school, and then proceeded to the University of Benin, where I studied engineering as my profession. And while in university, I started my journey in politics. Was secretary of the Bayelsa State Students in Uniben. From there, went to become president of engineering students. Came out, became secretary general of IYC, the Joy Youth Council. From the Joy Youth Council, went to become. I contested for House of Reps in 2011 through the Labour Party. That was my first exposure to Labour Party. Had my fingers burnt by the judiciary, even when we made a very strong outing in that election. In fact, the sitting House of Rep, I won him in his own local government, including his father's unit, I beat him. And then some of those contesting with me today rigged the election in broad daylight and said I should go to court. Then after 180 days, those cases will collapse. And that's how, with all we did, we hired Olujimi, former Attorney General of the Federation. Olujimi SAN was my lawyer in that case. I brought forensic experts from abroad. We did forensics, got all our documentations, everything ready. But this 180 days fraud in the Nigerian Constitution was what robbed us. I left, I went back to my business because I started Radney's Integrated Services. So I'm of dual personality. One, and a practicing engineer. Then secondly, my second address is politics. So when I'm not doing politics, I'm doing my profession, where I've been involved in several projects with over 40 staffs, paying tax in Bayelsa State, creating employment in Bayelsa State. So I didn't make it in the House of Reps. I went back to my business and then came back again to become the Joy Youth Council president. Played significant roles in the Niger Delta as Secretary General with Midwife, the amnesty program that I've seen over 30,000 young people's lives not remain the same. Doctors, engineers, pilots, aircraft maintenance mechanics, lawyers. We have trained over 30,000 young people. Well, I came in as president. There was crisis in the country. At all times, there have been crises that tested our resolve to peace in the country. And we negotiated the amnesty, the Avengers crisis when I was president, and stopped the crisis in the Niger Delta, which saw the resumption of the Maritime University that today have graduated several thousands and would graduate more. So again, after the IYC presidency, I tried the House of Reps again. I didn't go beyond the primaries because the governor had an interest, even though I fought to a standstill. But I couldn't make it at that time. Eventually, I was called upon to come and be commissioner in the state. I became commissioner for youth. Later moved to the Ministry of Environment. We concluded that tenure by handing over to the current administration. Just a few months after, there was crisis in the NDDC, and the federal government had called me to come and do some damage control. And so I was appointed special assistant to the acting MD of NDDC on youths in the Niger Delta. So that was where I was until 4th of January when I we handed over to the new board that was constituted, and I eventually went to begin my journey to take leadership in the state, believing that having gone through the process of leadership, I have been well baked and prepared, well exposed to the issues that bedevil the welfare of our people, and I believe that I can do better than what we see today. And so I threw in, participated, supported the Labour Party, mobilized resources and manpower to stand with the party. And that was the reason why the delegates said, we know this one, we don't know these people. And eventually voted for me. Out of 105 delegates in that election, 9 aspirants, I got 79 votes, to show that it was a landslide victory. There was nothing like rigging. There was nothing like, even when they were trying to, I refused. The National Party had 2 factions. The factions, I tried to manage them. In fact, that should be given the credit in the entire country. The first time there were 2 factions in a party, and yet in Bayelsa State, only 1 election was conducted. This party also say, yes, this is our candidate. So it's because of the relationship I try to create within the party. When I come to an institution, I don't just come because I want to pick something. I come because I want all of us to be to work together as one. And those engagements is why Bayelsa came out very peaceful in the primaries. Well, since then, I have tried to put a lot of things in place. I revived the obedient movement. I am still consulting and consolidating on the things that the obedient movement had done in the past. Support groups. I'm reaching out. I'm doing confidence building. Part of what we are doing today is also confidence building. People need to know those who are coming to take leadership. And that's why I have made myself available in every platform that I could be made available for scrutiny, so that people can properly interrogate leadership. That's what it's usually done in other parts of the world. It's only in Nigeria where people just come up and take sensitive positions like the position of a governor without the people knowing the individual. So I am here again, soliciting for support, and also reaching out, building alliances, getting to identify capacity that will help me turn Bayelsa around. What do I want in Bayelsa? Look, there's ardent poverty in my state. There is gross misconduct. There's gross incompetence of leadership that you need to go to Bayelsa and see what's going on. A state that have received over 1 trillion naira in the last 3.5 years. There is no power. There had no teachers in primary schools. The healthcare is nothing to write home about. The economy is dead. No hope amongst young people. And these things are simple things to do. Because I have been involved, I know that they are simple things to do. I am a man who resonates with the foundation of the obedient. Competence, capacity, and integrity. I have held a very high integrity in every opportunity I've been given to serve the people. I have demonstrated competence, and I believe that with the capacity that I have, I can turn Bayelsa around. I come with a simple agenda, the PEAP agenda, PEAP agenda. First, the people. I need to get the people to understand that it is time to wake up, to take leadership, not by me, Udengs Eradiri, but by all of us, by essence. I must show the people the vision, carry them along, run a participatory leadership, ensure that the people are happy. Once you get the people on your side, the most important resource is the people. The most important agenda is the people. And that's why I've made it my number 1 priority. The second is education. I want to upgrade the educational facilities in my state. I want young people to compete with their counterparts in any part of the world. And that means that you need to upgrade the facilities and ensure that they are up to standard. I want to develop science and technology. ICT education must be priority in Bayelsa State, because we need to prepare our young people for the challenges of tomorrow. Look at what's happening in Europe today. It is because of the foundation, the kind of education that the young ones have, that they are all prepared, and the data society is what is leading the world today. And I want a situation where Bayelsa young people will key into what is happening and begin to be self-sustaining and create more jobs to make the economy viable in our state. And looking at agriculture, with agriculture, I want to set the foundation to revive Bayelsa economy. Sugarcane is growing untamed in Bayelsa, Southern Niger, so we are going to produce sugar in Bayelsa. I assure you that with sugarcane, I will create an economy. If I build a food processing and storage facility in the Bayelsa airport, we would have started producing plantains, bananas that we will export to the world, because this banana and plantain is an international food. We need to tap into that environment. We have a cassava processing facility in Bayelsa, a 60,000 tonne per facility. I want the women to participate, produce the cassava that will oil that facility and make an economy viable in the state. The last P is power. NCDMB in Bayelsa bought an 11 megawatts power plant. So turbines these days are not like before, where you have to spend 2-3 years to build a turbine. Turbines are in the shelf. You go to companies in Europe, you can buy them off the shelf. So we are going to purchase our own turbines and create industrial hubs that have power, and also provide power to Bayelsa so that you can use it to create an economy in the state. The energy sector in Bayelsa is one area that we need to tap into. And so I'm going to strengthen the Bayelsa Oil Company so that it will provide the services that are required by the IOCs in the environment. The PIA that have been signed is going to almost 2 years now. The communities are not involved. They don't even know what it is. I'm going to set the machinery to educate the communities about the PIA with a view to stop the pipeline vandalization that is going on. Once the people know that every day they are making XYZ because 3% of operating cost in that environment is coming to them, and they know every child can calculate it because you have developed their capacity and their understanding, nobody will tamper those lines, because the people know that at the end of 12 hours, we are going to be making 50 million today. So it means that in 1 year, we are going to make billions. And that money, we can determine our own projects, not an institution doing it from somewhere. Once you educate the people, you will see how these communities will wake up to secure the pipelines, and all the money that federal government is spending can be channeled to some other things, because the people know that every day they are going to be making money from it. There's a disconnect between government and the governed, and I want to breach that with a PIP agenda. I will be able to breach it. I will invest in entertainment, provide 1 billion every year to support the entertainment industry. The same way President Goodluck at the had 2 billion that today you see Nollywood, all the artists are all making waves. That's how I'm going to encourage that sector, so that raw talents, can also be a source of creating wealth and economy in our state. So PIP agenda is a simple one. Before we expand it to others, we want to focus on these 4. I'm believing that with this, Bayelsa will become a productive state. I come from a state where our people are very loyal to political office holders. So a school dropout becomes a councillor. PhD holders will be loyal to a school dropout. You can imagine how many people are loyal to a governor. That loyalty, I want to transform it to productivity, to the point where 2 years into my leadership, you don't need to know government house to function and survive as an individual. You wouldn't need to know who the governor of Bayelsa is. You will just hear that it is an environment where it is easy to do business. It is an environment where tourism will begin to strive, where the blue economy, the fishing in the ocean, we can transform that to creating wealth. So we are going to complete the roads that are going to Brass, Agay, and Southern Niger, because those areas are nerve centers that support the state. Agay has a deep sea port. That deep sea port can be harnessed to create an alternative economy to what is happening in Lagos, so that we can also decongest and create, another hub within Bayelsa. Bayelsa is in the middle of the Niger Delta. It is about 1 hour 30 minutes to every other eastern state, especially the commercial nerve center of the country, which is Onitsha. By sea, by the waterways, in 4-5 hours you should be in Onitsha from Agi, while by land in 1 hour 30 minutes you are in Onitsha. If we are able to take Bayelsa and we bring businessmen together, irrespective of where they are from, because Bayelsa itself have been developed by non-indigenous, especially those from the east. So because we know that they have entrepreneurs and they have skills, we want to work with them to create a bigger economy to accommodate a lot of our people, and also those who are willing to do business in a peaceful environment like Bayelsa. So I want to be a bridge between the older generation and the energies of the young ones, so that we can all bring all this together and make Bayelsa an example to other states in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is, a full package. You've sort of go through everything. Some of the things I wanted about your manifesto, about you kind of, it shows to me, it just shows that you're ripe, you're ready, you're good to go, especially from your experience and what you've gone through. My question will be, having gone through the judicial system and everything that's happening today, how prepare you? Because I've just noticed in Nigeria, what they do is just to rush to announce result and say, meet me in court because of all the system and everything. So having passed through and then passed through that, your experience and everything, how prepare you to engage the youth, not only getting it and get the right thing announced at the right time, and at the same time follow it through? What are
The
you
electoral,
looking at?
the electoral act is clear on the modus operandi for elections. The other thing, the advantage we also have is that Bayelsa is a standalone election where the entire world will be focused on Bayelsa. This just like go and announce and go to court, it will not happen in Bayelsa. Don't allow anybody to deceive you. The people know how underdeveloped our state is. We are now a laughing stock amongst the committee of states. Every child in Bayelsa knows what's going on. Children cannot go to school. They are begging coppers to teach them. These are issues that we will put before the people. And we already know that just like what happened in Adamawa, one man takes 2 billion and say, we'll go announce and leave him. I will announce him. It will not happen in Bayelsa. I assure you. I'm a former president of the Joy Youth Council. I worked with the people on the grassroots. I will go back to the people, just as I have set machineries that are reaching out to the people. I've just been away trying to generate the resources necessary to sustain the process. It's an expensive one, and I will not allow money become a barrier to me. But I've been able to manage it to this point. We have crossed the first river. This is the time when we are calling on our supporters, our followers, our well-wishers to come together. Let us generate money. Even if it is 1,000 you contribute, it will go a long way. And we're not looking for 100 billion from somewhere. No, 1,000 to 2,000 that we'll put together. Before you know it, we have raised the money to be sustaining this process until November 11th. The others, we have leaders who we will reach out to and will generate the resources necessary to deal with the election. But we need money to maintain security, community people, logistics moving around, and education. Well, we're going to be having 2,244 polling unit agents that we're putting together from next week. We're supposed to keep them together, educating them, bringing resource materials to come up. Local government by local government will be going around to educate polling units within those local polling agents within those local governments. The sensitization will be so much that nobody will try it. You can't even try it, Seth, because the modus operandi will be taught to the local woman. Everybody that gather in the unit knows that when you finish this election, you go and answer here. It's only places where people are not informed that these things happen. In my own place, it doesn't happen. We educate our people. We all know before elections, we gather the community, we talk to them. I say this election is not do or die. Make sure it is like so. When you come to the community as an ad hoc officer of INEC, you already know the modus operandi. There's no argument, and that is what we are going to be telling the people. Because this election is simple for us. We're not going to convince them that, oh, vote for me because I'll do better. In all the positions I have held, I have been a recurring decimal since 1999 as a student union leader till date in Bayelsa. There's virtually no community that have not heard my name in terms of positive contribution to the growth of and development of that state. I have never been in charge of government resources to the point of where I would have had the authority to do things. But yet, I have been able to create impacts that affected lives in the state. Imagine when I have the authority to manage the resources of the state. And that's why I've been saying that I'm being unfairly assessed with two people who have been on the saddle of leadership. The former governor of Bayelsa State, they are assessing. Nobody is assessing him the way with where I stand. I stand outside government. These people have been assessed. You spending government money, and then you want to assess me with them. I'm even doing better than them because I have never had that opportunity to control those funds. If I do, and when I do, you will see the landmark difference. Because if I can do what I have done in the past without funding, if I can run the Joy Youth Council to the point where it is difficult for any president to beat my record in the IYC. As Secretary General, there's none. No Secretary General will beat my record. The things that I put on the ground, the lives that are affected, people that are that are doing PhDs today in UK, they are scattered all over the place. They are calling to even come and greet me. I say, no, I have to be leaving tomorrow. Lives that we touched without funds, but using our brains to engage the system and produce results. Is it when I have the resources that I will not produce those results? So let me tell you, the communities will be informed and educated to the grassroots point, to the point where mothers, if you go to the locality in Bayelsa today, you hear Mama Papa Pikin. Old women that they never heard of any other thing before, they know what Mama Papa Pikin is. If you tell those old women that you see that Mama Papa Pikin, some people won't come take them. Make sure say for here, then talk on. When we communicate in the right language, you will see the resilience of our people. Ijaw people are very resilient people. They are not intimidated by those forces of Abuja trying to come and abuse a constitution for which they all took oath to protect. So don't be rest assured. All we need now is the resources to sustain the process before the election, because this election we must win it before the D-Day. And to win it before the D-Day, we need to be doing that engagement and sustaining and educating and enlightening the people to the point where everybody will be opening their eyeball to eyeball, waiting for the day of election. This election is over.
Fantastic. That I can feel that confidence. I feel that that authority when you're speaking based on conviction. We just hope both here, Labour Party UK chapter, and of course all the Bayelsas that have come to welcome you and everything. We both wish you all the best. And I know it's not going to be easy. You've made mention of having support, to make this a reality. I don't know, do you have maybe like a contact or something that people can reach out to you, or where they can support this cause? Because that's what we actually needed. If you look at today, the obedient, they thought it was just 1, 2, 3 people tweeting in the room. Under 1 year, you're able to gather more than 6 million. That's the one that was just, we know that's not the total. But it means that there's so much for the youth and there's so much for us, and you are in the right party. So are you soliciting, or do you asking for?
Yes, I have engaged the services of an NGO, so that every funds that come in to this process is transparent and one that will be given account for. Therefore, we have engaged the African Youth Advocacy and Poverty Alleviation Initiative. That organization, Advocacy Against Poverty Initiative, have a dedicated account from a signature bank, a new bank, of course, co-owned by our Labour Party governor-elect of Abia State. And so we have a dollar account there as well as a Naira account. Please support us through that process. And on a periodic basis, the accounts will be made public, and whatever we are spending monies for, everybody will be aware of it. We are engaging another NGO, Alero Women Initiative as well. So by the time we are done with getting the board of trustees together that will manage it for this purpose, we are going to also put it up here. This one has members of Big Tent, some OPDM members as part of the signatories of that SPV, which we have put together so that we can transparently manage every resource that comes in.
So thank you very much. It's good to have. I know you're very busy. You'll be flying out tomorrow to Abuja on behalf of the Team Labour Party UK chapter, and of course all the Bayelsans here in the UK, and of course back home. We want to wish you all the best. And what message do you have for those people back home, people that watch this program, and then now or later, what that message you have for them as to sign off?
Well, first, we must keep hope alive. We must continue to be peaceful and use the law to deal with this infraction that have cost us the presidential position. However, we believe that the rule of law will take its course because there are infractions on the Nigerian constitution that will be difficult to sweep under the table. If anybody sweep it under the carpet, then the issues of the amalgamation of Nigeria will be revisited.
Mm-hmm.
It's very clearly, because if they said somebody wrote a constitution and said we should all abide by the constitution, we'll all be following the rule inside, then somebody goes to abuse that process and the institutions of state allow it. It means that there's no constitution. It means that there's no constitution. That's why we're saying, let us look. Judiciary is on the trial now. The entire world is watching Nigeria today. So for me, people need to be peaceful and follow the process, and whatever comes out of it, we will take it from there. As for voters in Bayelsa, young people, I always tell them it is your, but this election in Bayelsa is about you. It's about young people. How can people that contested with my father want to contest with me? I don't understand. Yes, this man contested with my father. I sat with them and I've told them, I couldn't have served you 14 years ago, go and serve you again. Something will be fundamentally wrong with young shall grow. If at this point, the former governor is over 60, the current governor is over 60, when science have proven that the older you get, the less productive to society you are.
That's true.
Something will be fundamentally wrong with my generation if somebody did not get up to challenge them. I have come to bail this cat because these people have no clue so far. I can see some of the social media they put together, people are supporting them. You are clapping hand for a man who his first responsibility is to create a road, is to pay salaries, is to educate the people. And then he didn't do anything different from they pay you money at the end of the month, you carry the money and supposed to use it to build. That one said they didn't do, they even stole the money. You are clapping for them. My generation, any young person within my generation that is doing this will have his questions to answer when he goes to God. Because me, I said I would go to hell if I didn't do this. Because if I reach there and God asked me, yes, having gone through all this process, what did you do when it was your time? And I say, oh, Your Excellency, I've been a fear, say, I didn't have money. And these government people, they Abuja have, you say, come on, go to hell. But if I tell him that I fought them, and God forbid, it didn't work, God will say, well, my boy, go and enjoy heaven. We'll see inside that place, go enjoy. And therefore, I have stopped to complain. I will not complain until I die. I will take action. That's the action I'm taking. And you know me, I know Sabi advice person say, oh, no, do this. Leaders must do what is right so that young people will be civil. Me, I am bearing this cat, and it is bestowed on you as a young person to support this cause, because it's not about me. I keep saying it. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about us. We need to take leadership. We need to change the way things are done in our place. People can no longer be embezzling our funds and pay themselves pension after embezzling our money, impoverishing our state, and I still collect pension for impoverishing the people. You did not go and carry block in a site to bring the money. It is the same people's money that you are using to impoverish and punish them. Then you take pension on top of it. You guys don't know how nauseating it is. It is our time. We need to challenge the status quo and correct some of all this. You can't even mention some of these things. But let us begin to mobilize, wari to wari, kemi to kemi, window to window, door to door. We are going to beat these people. The only thing they have is the people's money, your road, your economy, your schools, your livelihood, your health care is what they are gathering to come and share for you on election day. Take it, it's your money. But get them out, because they can never, what they can't do for themselves, they will never do for you. It is our time. Let us bail this cat. Franz Fanon said every generation out of relative obscurity must rediscover its mission, whether to betray or fulfill that mission. What is your mission? My own is to fulfill it. And that's what we are doing today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I definitely wish you all the best. And we look forward to, November, where the election is coming up in November.
November 11th, but very likely to be postponed because we'll be underwater. The flood is not a joke.
Okay.
Failure of leadership, they don't even know. They are even, instead of them to begin to educate the people about the flood and take action, they're doing kind of, let me leave these people. This will be the last time Bayelsa will suffer this kind of flood without hope. When I take leadership, I will prepare the people. I will take action to begin to deal with the flood. And when the flood will come the next time, by the time it will come, the impact will be less because I would have prepared the minds of the people and use government resources to get the environment ready to accommodate the excesses that may arise as a result of the disaster.
Yeah.
So, if you want to live a better life, this is the opportunity.
Thank you very much. And we wish you all the best. And by God's grace, we know come November, whether we don't hope that it postpone. We also don't hope that the flood will be, coming. Maybe, it's your time.
Look, let me tell you the flood pattern. I was commissioner. I grew up in that place. I know it. I don't like to deceive myself. So I like to prepare my mind.
Realistic.
So that I will not go and share money or mobilize people. And then in the next morning, they tell you they have shifted it. They just finish you first. Shift it another 2 weeks. By the time you get there, your money is finished. That's what they do. So we know we are preparing for it. Because this flood will peak in October. It will start from late June and start to rise July, August. It is very high. At the end of August, October, it has peaked.
Everywhere is full.
Yes. Towards the end of October, it is coming down from Kogi. No, at the end of August, it starts coming from Kogi, flood the whole of the southern part, and then it will peak in October and begin to go down second week of November. From the end of the first week of November, it will start going down. And then that's how it goes to the first week of January, December, the flood would have gone down. Even at that time, you can't even go to the farms because it's still very matchy. So sometimes it goes in as far as second week of December, towards the Christmas, before you begin to see dry land. So why will I deceive myself when I know that by November 11th, some people have not moved back to their communities? Their polling units are underwater, including the governor's place. The governor's place and his house at that time will not be habitable. No, I'm telling you, his house will not be habitable. The primary school that he used to vote since he was small will not be habitable. I'm telling you.
Wow.
So that's how it's. That's how it is.
Thank you very much. It's good to have you in the studio, and it's good to have you with the insight and in-depth knowledge about the terrain in Bayelsa. And we just want to wish you all the best. Thank you very much for coming to Affinity Connect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.